Okay, welcome back to Comedy or Worse. I'm here with my very special guest,
Ethan Horn.
Yay! I'm a pretty high streak of pointing at people when they say their name.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
There was one person that I had to actually tell what I wanted.
They're just not getting it, huh?
Yeah. I understand, but
it took me a second. I was just like, oh yeah, my turn.
yeah. I just find it's just fun,
Mm-hmm.
and then also it makes more sense to me pronouncing people's names wrong.
Facts.
Get them to say it.
Yeah.
So you were a little early, which is fine. It's better than being late. So do you use the stage name?
No, I just go by, regular plain old name.
Cool.
So yeah, don't have any stage name. Never believed in stage names, personally. So.
Oh yeah, well they exist.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe in them.
I don't believe in them for me, you know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I believe they exist. Yeah,
Okay.
But it's like
It's
Larry the Cable Guy is not named Larry the Cable Guy.
But he could be if he wanted to.
I mean, you have to legally change it to be a pain in the ass. But
Sure,
yeah,
exactly.
sure.
How did you get into comedy?
How did I get into comedy? Good question. First time I ever did comedy was when I was 17 years old, and I signed up for a church talent show.
Okay.
So comedy now is way different than my comedy then. It's very much squeaky clean and everything back then. But it was fun. I liked it, had a really good time. But then then I was like, okay, I should start going to open mics. And then it was like, okay, this is harder than I thought it would be. It was a lot easier to make a church crowd laugh than it was to make open mic comedians laugh. But then eventually, after doing it for a while, started breaking into it a little bit better. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. So how long have you been pursuing it? We're going to open mics every week.
So I'd say about 3.5 years. Because it's I started when I was 17, but there were a lot of breaks in between where it's entire times where I didn't do comedy for long periods of time. So it's cumulatively 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you take weeks off, months off, years off?
Yeah, some of each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there were, all kinds of crazy stuff happened in that in between time between then and now. So.
Sure. Yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your writing process?
So my writing process, typically when it comes to coming up with material, I try to just kind of see what comes up naturally if I can. But whenever I actually get down to writing, I'm really into formatting. I think formatting is really important for how you actually write. I like to have each joke, I bold out the name of the joke, then below it I put a little S for setup, something like my setup line, right? And then I write my setup line, and then or whatever the line is. It's I have S's and P's and T's on the sides, right? For setup, punchlines, and taglines. So
okay.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that yourself, or is you following some system?
Yeah, I'm following Steve Roy's system. I had a friend of mine who used to do comedy back in the day. He used to do comedy and magic. I met him years ago when I was super Mormon still, but he recommended these two comedy textbooks, one on performing, one on writing, and I was reading some of the one on the run and writing, and that was kind of how Steve Roy recommended formatting it, and I like that way because it makes it easy to see because you're double spacing them, makes it easy to see, and also
double spacing between the jokes.
Well, no, between each line. So you'll have a setup line or whatever you, and then you try to minimize the amount of setup, but whatever you need before you can get to the punchline. you get to the punchline, and if you have an additional joke that doesn't require a setup after the punchline, that's a tagline.
Okay, so the setup, if it has two sentences, then they are together. But then there's a space in between the setup and the punchline.
I remember what Steve Roy wrote.
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying, because it sounds like you're skipping every other line, and that sounds pretty crazy.
Well, it is kind of like I'm skipping around. It's easier to show you than to tell you.
I mean, you just haven't thought about how to describe it.
Yeah, no, it's...
Because it literally should be...
It is kind of like skipping every other line,
So show me one that has two sentences set up. Do you have two sentences?
Typically, I have it. You don't always write in full sentences, but typically it's...
You're not even writing in full sentences.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not like writing every word. You're just kind of like getting a general idea.
Well, no, you write every word, but it's just you write it as you would speak it. So people don't always speak in full sentences. I mean, a lot of people do, but sometimes you don't.
Right, but you're using periods.
I mean, if you make a full sentence. But if you don't,
you're fucking blowing my mind.
I'm sorry.
What?
If you make a full sentence, but then you might want to illustrate a pause by like saying beat in like parentheses, or you might.
It's like you're writing a script or something.
Yeah, I mean, in its own weird way, I guess. Yeah, it's a different way of writing, but I like it because to me it makes sense.
Okay, let me see if I can ask the question this way. So, between one idea and another, even if it's not a full sentence, are you putting periods? Or is it just one run-on nonsense?
It just...
Okay, let me ask you this. Between one idea and another in this setup, is there an actual gap of a space, like double space? Or is the double space in between the setup and the punchline?
There might be an ellipses. There might be like 3 dots. That's what's called, right? An ellipses.
Ellipses between what and what?
Between like your incomplete sentence and either your next incomplete sentence or your next sentence.
Right.
Yeah.
So in between those thoughts,
yeah,
you're not double spacing that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even though you're not writing incomplete sentences, there's like thoughts. So the answer is no. It's this double space is in between the setup and the punchline.
Yeah. But you might have a space for setup and then another space for setup because you might have more than one setup line.
Oh, so not just one setup, it could have another S?
Yeah, it's to me it comes down to what's easier to read. Because like if you're like seeing if you have like a big clump of like a couple of spaces of like setup line, I like to just kind of break it up into either partial sentences or sentence. And then you might have, but I try to minimize that as much as possible because you want to cut as much fat as you can before getting to the punchline, just enough to illuminate the punchline to make the punchline make sense. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's the opposite. So yes, you are, but then you're tagging them each with the letter S.
Yeah.
And then punchline.
Yeah, P for punchline.
Usually there's only one punchline because then after that it would be tags.
Yeah, provided there's not more setup for another joke in between. So like punchline and there was something funny right after the punchline, like a punchline that doesn't require any more setup, tagline. But you might have a punchline and then you might have more setup for another punchline. It could go in a lot of different ways.
Okay, yeah. I get you.
Yeah. Sorry, it's exhausting to try to explain it.
Just even though you're not using complete sentence in what you're talking about, you can use complete sentence. You know what I mean?
You can.
You can complete your thought to explain it. You just never had to talk about it.
Yeah, it's hard to articulate, honestly.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Some people are able to easily articulate stuff, and I'm not kind of tired, so I might not articulate stuff very good.
Yeah.
And be a little bit more grumpy. So
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. Some people are good at articulating stuff, and some people are stupid. I'm kidding. Nah.
So let's see. So who's the funniest person in your life right now? It doesn't have to be a comedian.
Damn, that's crazy. Funniest person in my life. I don't know if funniest, but like one of the funniest for sure is my dad. I mean, like I feel like I get a lot of my sense of humor from him. He's just such a weirdo, like in the best way, you know. And like my dad, hanging out with my dad like one-on-one is a different dynamic than like hanging out with like my dad and my sister and my mom, because like my mom especially is like, don't say that, you know, Steve, don't say that, you know. But my dad will just be like cracking dirty jokes with me, and it'll just be a good time. I don't know. He just has a goofy and sometimes really inappropriate sense of humor that I really appreciate. And yeah, it's kind of, I mean, also it's my dad's love of comedy that kind of spurred this on for me getting into comedy, because when at a young age we'd be listening to like, you know, like CDs of like Billy Engvall or Jeff Foxworthy, or like, you know, watch old clips of George Carlin from like the 70s, and that kind of formed my real first base of admiration for comedy, was really kind of began there. Yeah, then I, of course, you know, branched out and found more comedians and other stuff, but it all kind of grew from my father. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I asked this of everybody. I don't always remember the answer, but it's just fun to tie everything together, each episode together. When did we meet?
When did we meet? Fuck.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
You just appeared one day.
I know. It felt like that. When did we meet? First time I feel like it might have been ACC. Might have been, sometime at American Comedy Company. It was like the first time I remember seeing you, at least seeing you perform. I don't remember if I met.
It's so funny. A lot of the comedians say they first saw me on stage before we
Yeah.
met. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
and I was just like, this guy is like really, really goofy. Like in a good way. You just have a very, very quirky sense of humor, you know. Just
Right.
and
You're just talking about George Carlin. I'm like, yeah, I think I see. The problem is like with my comedy. Yes, you're being silly, but I just want to try so many things.
oh yeah,
It would be interesting just to go up there or first try to write the jokes. Could I write something in the style of like? Well, lately I've been thinking that it's just amazing how stupid everybody is.
yeah,
But how do you insult? You know, first you could say like people are stupid, and then maybe at the end be like, yeah, you know what? Sorry to have to tell you this, but you audience, you're people.
I like that. Audience, you are also people. Yeah, that's a good one. I think there's
Maybe
something
that would
there.
be the way to end.
Yeah, there's something there. I like that one. You're people. You're people too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever done a character on stage, or like say a joke and oh, my mom said this, and then like
I
try
mean,
to do your mom's voice or
yeah,
or your dad's
I've
voice.
done voices on stage, but not. I don't know if I'd say a character. I have one joke where I say that it's a character I created, but it's not really a character I created. It's just for the use of that one joke, you know. And but yeah, not super into the characters. I'm really into like genuine comedy, like trying to be as much yourself as possible.
Sure.
In general is the way to go. Every once in a while you say something that just you don't mean, but is just funny and silly, you know.
Right.
But I try to derive my comedy from a genuine place.
Right.
Yeah.
What about like starting off with a real thing and then you're like, oh, this needs more punchlines, and you start exaggerating or adding stuff that's not true?
I I don't believe for me into really adding stuff that's not true. The only time I exaggerate is when, because I'm a firm believer in the truth, right? Like, I don't like it when comedians like make shit up that didn't happen. Like, I'm okay with like exaggeration if it's like obvious that this is bullshit, you know? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like obviously, like, it's like when it's obvious that something didn't happen. It's so clear, you know, like only an idiot, even like only a super idiot.
Well, there's a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because there's certain people that say things and they just believe what they say without any evidence.
Yeah.
Even though there's contradictory evidence.
This is true. But a reasonable person would be like, that's false.
Sure.
Yeah. That's where I'm trying to go for.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going for the international audience, is what you're saying?
Oh man, I trying to go for being genuine and as many people as possible.
So do you have any hobbies or passions that aren't related to comedy?
I love heavy metal.
Does it weigh heavy on you?
It weighs heavy on me, heavy on my soul, in the best way. I mean, there's nothing like going to like a really good heavy metal show and like going into a mosh pit or just like standing back and just standing back and watching or just listening to the music. I don't know, I love it.
So you relate to that music?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever have happy thoughts?
A lot of metal is happy. I mean, like, you just might not realize it's happy, you know? It's like, sometimes you think it's a song about murdering a baby, but it's not. It's a song about, like, being connected to nature, you know what I mean?
Sure, but, like, there's music where sometimes it feels like they're glorifying negative things.
Yeah.
You know, like drugs or...
Yeah.
You know, destructive things like violence or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between reporting
mm-hmm.
what's going on in the world,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes you can fall in the trap of, at least your audience is thinking that you're glorifying.
Yeah, that's true. I
like happy music.
I don't like stuff.
I used to listen to all kinds of music except country, and now I listen to more like beautiful women voices talking, singing about. It doesn't have to be all cheerful things,
mm-hmm.
you know, from breakups to
mm-hmm.
You know, not just love. I don't know. It's just like a wide variety of
mm-hmm.
things, but they're not glorifying
yeah.
violence. You know what I mean? Like they're not.
Yeah,
It's like hard to explain.
I'm not
it's
really.
Not that I won't listen to the other stuff. It's just I'm not gravitating toward that anymore. It's kind of interesting.
You know, I mean, I'm not really into music that really glorifies violence per se. Like in general.
So so you're into heavy metal. So
yeah.
Like, give me a band that you're listening to and what. You know what I mean?
Like Elvati. I really like
What
Elvati.
type of music is it?
That's
what types of things they're singing about?
It's kind of niche. It's Celtic folk metal, so it has like heavy metal instruments and musicality, but it also has like Celtic instruments in it, like harp and violin and hurdy-gurdy.
Is there any singing?
Oh yeah, there's.
What are they singing about?
Mostly Celtic mythology or history.
Just violence in that.
Some of it, yeah, but it doesn't mean it's like. There can be righteous violence. You know what I mean? There's that.
There can be righteous violence.
Yeah, there can be righteous violence. All right, one and.
So what side of the Middle East are you on?
So what?
Don't answer that.
I'm on nobody's side. No,
yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. So have you ever traveled to do comedy?
Ooh, traveled to do comedy? No, I wouldn't say so. I would say that I have done comedy while traveling, which is a different kind of dynamic because it's like
you're visiting family,
or just the fact that like
Vegas.
I've been in the Navy and I've been stationed at different places, right? So it's like.
So where have all you been stationed?
So first I started doing comedy. First I started doing comedy, pre-Navy. It was in Austin, Texas, right? So I was doing a lot in Austin.
He can go back to Austin and say, I was doing comedy here before it was big.
I was.
Does anybody remember you?
Probably not.
Oh!
Honestly, no. Like, I did some in Austin. And
For how long in Austin?
Like, maybe, year and a half, maybe. And,
do you have proof?
Proof? I mean, I have shit from,
recorded stuff?
I have some, old-ass YouTube videos of me when I still had hair.
Did you do stuff at a venue that's still there?
Yeah. Well, wait. Yes and no. I would say no, because there was Cap City Comedy Club, and then they shut down and then moved locations. But they still have Cap City Comedy Club, but it's somewhere else now.
Show people, look, back in the day, this was at a different place.
Yeah, there's this competition called Funniest Person in Austin, and I tried for that in 2013, and I had a decent set.
So is there anybody in Austin right now that started around when you did that, and they're still in Austin, or they blew up and moved away, or?
I can think of people that, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%. There's one or two people that I recognize that were in the scene. I don't know. I don't think they necessarily started in Austin, but they might have. One of them might have.
Or just in Austin at the same time as you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's I don't know if you're Matthew Broussard. I know he was. He has some stuff on Comedy Central, and I remember he was at some of the same open mics as I was.
That's cool.
But he ended up blowing up real big. I don't. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know him very well.
So, oh no.
Yeah, but
I'm just being silly, tying to the. Could you prove that you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
It's oh look, you ever record it's hard to know exactly how long, the host at an open mic is gonna. Are they gonna do a bit in between? So you'll push record. Sometimes you'll they'll say, oh, clap again for X comic. Yeah. So you just happen to be right before somebody, and then you know what I mean. And you don't edit and delete that part out. Then you can have, oh look, it was you went right before this famous comedian or whatever.
Yeah.
Open mic.
I wonder.
Even though they won't remember you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You say.
I had one time where Hannibal Buress popped in. He's not from Austin, but he popped into this one open mic, and I was performed at, and I bombed so hard. Painfully hard. In my memory, one of the worst times I've ever bombed. And
was it because you saw him there?
No, it was because my material sucked. I'm gonna be honest. It was not good. Yeah, it was not good.
Wow.
But hey,
that's cool.
Greener pastures.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I know you started early, so I won't ask you. You wish you started comedy earlier, but I will ask you instead. Do you wish that you were just able to just do it from 17 till now?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got discouraged and had times where I stopped a lot in between, and I kind of, there was a time where I quit for a while and was just this, I'm not making any money on it, and blah blah blah, and I made all these excuses, but then
everybody, don't do it for the money.
Yeah,
you got to do it because you absolutely have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I made all these excuses, but then eventually, after not doing it for so long, I was just I need to do this again. This is kind of driving me crazy that I'm not doing it, and it was really kind of tearing at me that I wasn't doing it. So, and when I could, I did. I mean, it was difficult when I was stationed in Japan because, how am I going to do comedy in Japan? It's very difficult to make that happen. There are very, very little amount of English speaking comedy going on in Japan. So I've only performed in Japan once, so in a 2-year period. So yeah.
So there's not a lot of comedy in Japan, or there's people speaking Japanese?
I never really saw any Japanese speaking comedy. I only saw English speaking comedy. I never really saw but I think it's there. But I know there were some comedians that I ran into that were like expats and had like English version of their set and a Japanese version of their set, which I think was crazy, which is cool. But that
seems hard to do. I wonder if it was different jokes. Probably it was different jokes.
Well, the one guy I talked to, he said it was like the same set, but it was just different language. And I'm like,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, his facility over both languages was pretty impressive.
Because like there's just culturally there's things that English speaking people would find funny, and then other language speakers wouldn't find that funny.
True.
I've been told. I don't know. I'm not doing comedy in other languages.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote some jokes into code, but you had to speak English to read it. To
right.
Get it.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. So, what are your goals in comedy?
Ooh, that's a big one.
No, it's only that big.
It's only that big.
It was only a normal-sized question.
Yeah, goals in comedy. For me, a lot of it comes down to like where I'd like to perform. I think it would be so cool to one day like perform at like the Comedy Cellar. I think that would be like one of the coolest things, like in New York City. I would like to. Like I kind of sort of have like an hour-ish of material, like maybe like 45 minutes of material, but I want it to be like a really solid, good hour. That's always been like a real big goal of mine, is to like make that happen. And it's like something like an hour that I can be 100% proud of. Not just kind of like, okay, these really hit and really work, and some of these are kind of shaky.
Like, what is? Do you envision like putting that out, or?
Yeah, that's the hope.
Or like, so would you like record in different venues and put it all together, or you would try to book a venue for the whole hour?
I mean, ideally a whole hour, that would be ideal, but the world isn't always ideal, so maybe I might have to kind of go around it and try multiple different venues an hour.
So how long, what's the longest set you're getting booked on right now?
There was a while where it was a little while ago where I was doing like 30 to like 45 minutes material. But
where at?
I had this like situation where I teamed up with this musician, and like she did like an hour, and I did like 30 to 45 minutes of comedy or something like that. And because she didn't want to do like 2 hours of performing,
right?
So I ended
that thing that you let me do, right?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, so that, yeah.
Just the time I went, I don't know if about you, but like it was a reunion or a fundraising thing.
Yeah.
We mostly were visiting with each other, and I'm like,
yeah,
that was not easy.
Yeah, I bet not. The reason I I was like, no, I'll have someone else do it, and I got to you because I asked, I think it was your Facebook Messenger group, that like is like, hey, does anyone have like 30 minutes or more of like clean comedy? Because I thought it was gonna be like a bunch of high school kids there, because it was a fundraiser for a high school, and I was like, I have jokes that are dirty. Like I have some jokes that are super clean, but I have some other jokes that are like, oh yeah, this is about like coming inside of a pussy. So it's like, I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna piss off a bunch of Karens,
So I didn't even have to do clean comedy?
Apparently not.
Oh my god!
I thought you did. I was just
Go
like,
back in time.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It was a good challenge. I did it.
Yeah.
I did 10 minutes of crowd work to, the what was her name again?
What? Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea and her one friend that she brought.
Oh, right.
So like they both like,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing crowd work for them.
Yeah. No. So it's.
I mean, here and there people would pay attention, but it's just.
Yeah, it was hard to get people on board.
To get their attention, if I could like, say I fucked this chick so hard. What?
How hard did you fuck her?
She turned into a chicken. That's only part of the joke. You're not getting the whole joke. Sorry. Listen, go see live comedy. Go see Ethan and me perform.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite fan interaction?
Oof.
It doesn't have to be. You could have been. You were a fan of someone else.
Oh.
So it doesn't have to be your.
Okay.
Fan.
I had a good moment where this is when I was in Connecticut, and I went to New Haven to this place called Toad's Place to see Steve Hofstetter perform. I don't know if you've heard of Steve Hofstetter. He's got a lot of. He has a huge social media presence. You know, he's a redhead guy, beard, has a lot of very political jokes, and he's really good at dealing with hecklers. Like really good at dealing with hecklers. And there's a period of time after the show, after they do stand up, that they him and the opening comedians, they all do like a Q&A, and I got to ask questions at the Q&A.
Nice.
And like that was one of my favorite moments that I thought was really fun. Another one that was really cool was when I was with my dad in New York City, and we went to the Comedy Cellar. We're seeing Mo Amer, who's pretty great, and then Dave Chappelle shows up, and he does like a set till like 4:30 in the morning. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and
you stayed for the whole thing?
Yeah, I stayed for the whole thing. I mean, because it's Dave Chappelle, I was gonna see it. You know, I mean,
So wait, how did the place stay open all that time?
I
guess
they just do.
The alcohol laws are probably different.
Yeah, it is different in New York City. Then I remember I don't remember what my dad said, but like my dad briefly interacted with Dave Chappelle. I didn't, but my dad did, and I thought that was cool. You know, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. I forgot to ask you this one. What is your favorite joke? It could be anybody's joke.
Man, favorite joke. Anybody's joke.
You don't have to perform the whole thing. Just give us an idea of what it is.
Oh my God.
You have 10 seconds.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's a joke.
Oh,
Take your time,
God.
skip it, come back to it. It's all good.
It's probably got to
be.
It's probably going to be a Mitch Hedberg joke of some kind. I love Mitch Hedberg so much. What comes to mind is like a friend asked me if I wanted a frozen banana, and I said no. But I do want a regular banana later. So yeah. He's just such a silly guy. I mean, may he rest in peace.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite place to do comedy?
This is a pretty good spot.
The Brick Room.
The
We're
Brick Room.
Live in the Brick Room at the Madhouse Comedy Club.
It's pretty great.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's recorded live.
This is pretty. It's pretty great. I like American Comedy Company. It was pretty fun. I'm back in
Have you gotten to do any shows there, or just the open mic?
No proper shows there. Just the open mic.
So, what comedy clubs have you gotten to do an actual show at?
Okay,
it doesn't have to be in San Diego.
Full disclosure, like I haven't done like a proper show at like any comedy club. I feel like every show I've done have been like at like weird locations. Like,
what about Roast Battle? You like Roast Battle?
I haven't done Roast Battle. Never roasted anyone.
Okay, let's just get into that.
Like part of me wants to, but another part of me is like, is that me? Is that who I am?
Well,
you know?
No. You have to understand it this way. You have to. Okay, you understand how marketing works?
Yeah.
Do you understand how like fragile the human mind is?
Very.
Okay, so what you do, and it's also about networking with other comics, right?
Right.
So you do good on the Roast Battle,
Mm-hmm.
and then audience members forget that you were on the Roast Battle, and they just go, "Oh, I saw you at La Jolla Comedy Store."
Right.
And they forget it was only a Roast Battle.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Interesting.
It's interesting how the mind works.
Like I've done shows that were paid for like paid shows at like weird, strange locations, like the basement of this one bar in Connecticut called the Elbow Room. I had one that was the first ever show I got money for was at a hair salon for black people after hours. No kidding. Like it was a very strange venue. I was the one white guy. I was the token white. It was
gotta
fun,
have 'em.
dude. It was fun. Gotta have
Gotta
him.
have 'em.
No, it was fun.
Not every time. But
It was great. It was great. It was awesome.
Did it like your comedy?
It did. Yeah, it did good. That was back in Texas, and yeah, one time I performed at I didn't get paid for this, but I performed at the back room of a Peruvian restaurant. I've had a lot of weird places so far. Yeah.
What about like running a show? Have you done that? Are you doing that?
No, I'm not doing that. I should do that. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's still time.
There's still time.
The other reason does he know he has cancer?
That's what the lack of hair is about.
Everybody at home, say it with me. Fuck cancer. Oh, I don't know if you did or not.
Fuck cancer.
What was your family life growing up?
My family family life.
Or
Good, actually. You know, like a lot of people say, like comedians have like always come from like rough families, and that's not true. Like I'd say that. I mean, I have a very supportive mom and dad. You know, like growing up was rough in its own way, but it was like because of like financial hardships and like medical issues with my oldest sister more than it was like, oh, my parents being any sort of way. You know, my parents were really great. You know, I got along with my sisters pretty well in general, you know, and in general, sometimes we butt heads, and I'd say pretty good. Like, grew up a little religious. That wasn't really for me, but still, you know, my parents meant well, and they're cool and accepting of, you know, what I believe and think now, you know, so it works out. It worked out. I'd say it's good.
So, you only have sisters?
Yep, I have 2 older sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm the only boy.
And the youngest.
What a combo.
What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory is being like 2 years old and having moved to Austin for like the first time, and my family was staying in the Omni Hotel, and I was looking out the window of the Omni Hotel, completely fascinated by being that high up in the air, up in the sky. Yeah, and I was like 2.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You just thought it was cool. You weren't scared or anything.
I wasn't scared. I just thought it was cool. I was just like, whoa. I was just fascinated by like looking out the window.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the biggest audience you performed for?
Probably a couple hundred. Yeah. Like nothing huge, but probably like 300 or so. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. What do you do? Any other type of art?
I write poems.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big poem guy. I really like.
When did you start writing poems?
When did I start? A long time ago. Probably around 18. But I write a lot of how I feel. You know, so it's like. So I end up with a lot of like these like depressing ass poems about like being sad or depressed or like some sort of heartbreak or something, and I'm just like, damn, I really need to write more like fun, happy poems, you know? Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's your best booking story? You're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I got booked on this show.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Oh man, nothing. I mean, I did like the situation where I was performing like 30 to 45 minutes, like because I randomly, because of that girl I met, right? Because she randomly was like, oh yeah, I remember you did comedy, and I thought you could help me out with this, and that was a few good weeks of consistent shows. Didn't pay a lot, but every once I got some tips from it, so it was pretty good. Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. So, have you ever been like on Kill Tony or anything like that?
Oh my God, no. I mean, so.
Or you wanted to die?
Or... All right. So, oh man, I moved out of Austin before they moved in there.
Right.
And a full disclosure, do not like Tony Hinchcliffe, just as a person.
No, it's just fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's not even having to do with what happened at, like, Madison Square Garden with him and everything. It was just, like, I never liked him because he always seemed like just a really condescending guy, you know? Just kind of, like, I've never been a big fan of, like, bully comedy. And I feel like he's, like, an embodiment of, like, the bully type comedian. And
Sure.
yeah, so it's like part of me thinks I want to go on Kill Tony for the exposure, but another part of me thinks I don't want to deal with that, you know. So I don't know. I've known people that I've known quite a few people who've been on Kill Tony, like Ben Kashoba here. He was on Kill Tony.
I was on Kill Tony.
You were on Kill Tony?
Right before lockdown.
Oh, really?
Right before they moved to Austin.
Oh, damn.
It was already pretty big. It was,
Mm-hmm.
in the La Jolla Comedy Store, they did two shows. And
Oh, really?
Rudy Ortega,
Mm-hmm.
the first time he did comedy was on Kill Tony.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was the first time he did it ever?
Yeah.
That's ballsy. That's really
Yeah,
ballsy.
there's people that listen to podcasts, and even though,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you don't know where to do comedy and just,
Yeah.
or you know, there's a lot of factors can add up. I mean, the first time I did comedy really was at the Madhouse, the other one, and it was during the comedy contest.
Oh, really? No.
And it was like not the best time.
Yeah,
when
dude.
It was a contest.
There's
going
always
on.
someone at a comedy contest who's doing it for the first time for some
It
reason.
just
and
happened to line up to
And-
it's a holiday, it's a Monday.
yeah.
Like, it was just so easy to sign up and just go. And I wish that I was just able to, like, keep going from there, but I
Yeah.
got too busy.
Dude, there was-
and didn't get really addicted. I liked it,
Mhm.
you know, even though I was doing podcast
Mhm.
characters
Mm-hmm.
up there, which some of it is like didn't really translate very well.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been better if I would have had a puppet and said what I was saying, because
Right.
it's like, oh, you're doing this scary voice that's supposed to be funny, but you're just doing it facing the audience, and it's
Mhm.
kind of like a disconnect. And it's weirder than if I would have like tried to do it with a puppet. Puppets
Right.
are weird,
Puppets are weird, but
people understand that, oh, you know, it's
The-
a puppet saying it. Not,
yeah, this is supposed
not
to be
me.
different.
It's supposed to be a different.
It's supposed to
character.
differentiate between me and the
Yeah.
puppet. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So let's see. What's the worst thing about comedy right now?
Worst thing about comedy right now, like as a society, or for like me personally?
Whatever comes to mind when I say that question.
Yeah. Okay. Worst thing about comedy right now, not making money in it. For me.
Yeah.
At the
Would it be nice if, like, as a society, we valued art?
I know.
Wouldn't that be
Just
crazy?
in general, better. Like if
Just like
for all the art, you know,
yeah,
it would be like yeah,
money into it.
because like there's a lot more work than is seen.
Yeah, or people will be willing to like pay for an open mic, or
Yeah. It'd be
or,
cool.
or like, you know, the rich people, you know, back in the day, like they would commission artists to
Mhm.
make art.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it would be like, some of the good ones would be like, oh, I don't care what you do, I just like your art.
Right.
And then, you know, I give them, you know, money to do it, and they got to do their art.
Ooh. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Another tough thing is like the expectation to like be an influencer. Or like to always be posting like on Instagram or something, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just so not good at that. I need to work on that. That's something I need to
Right.
be better
I think
at.
what she should be focusing on is trying to get emails, building an email list.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, and there was this comic. It's hard to do. I have emails that I have acquired, but they're not that. Basically, I kind of bought a list,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the best. It's like the 30% of the, you know, around sometimes 27 20% or whatever people are actually even opening
Oh, these emails?
the emails.
So are these like emails of bookers or like comedians or?
Potential fans.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you have an email list of fans. Interesting.
No, I mean potential
fans.
Audience.
Oh,
not fans.
Got it.
Potential audience member, which we could turn into fans.
Right.
So the idea is to figure out this next step is to have it, or have at least one person sign up for the actual real, newsletter.
Right. Okay.
You know.
That's an interesting.
But also,
that's a new one. I like it.
Making the newsletter on my website. It's like this catch-22. Like sometimes you have to have the content before people see value in it.
Oy, yeah.
I mean, I have the content. I have comedy, and then I have comedy of worse at Quantum Brewing right now.
Right.
But I just need to trying to figure out how incentive to people to actually sign up. They're using Eventbrite, and they're gathering.
In large
this
quantities.
week was great. It went from 58 people that had purchased a free ticket on Eventbrite, and now it's at 74. So that's a big jump.
That is a big jump.
Yeah, on Saturday, the place was packed, and then some people leave, and then more people just show up.
Right.
It's like that's exactly what you want. If everybody had come, some people at the same time, then people would have been disappointed.
Right.
That there's not enough room anymore.
Yeah.
So it's nice that people, it'd be, I don't know, it's hard. I guess if we had a bigger venue for that night, it would have been better, or a way to seat more people. It's just the way it's set up is almost be nice to have the tables that he has, clear them out, and then just put more
chairs,
tables like these.
The tiny ones, yeah.
Small tables and lots of freaking chairs. That would be nice.
Right, for sure. I feel
but
you.
That's a long-term goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Eventbrite is great for advertising shows. It's definitely, if I want to put together a show, I gotta utilize it, but a lot of Eventbrite. So.
What's that?
Oh, I said definitely if I want to put together a show, I got to utilize Eventbrite because you can only go so far with, Instagram. You can
get. The nice thing about Eventbrite is they, social media too gathers your emails, but you can't get people's emails through Instagram unless they DM you or something.
And that's exhausting.
Yeah. So Eventbrite is it's super easy. You set it up and then they purchase the ticket, and Eventbrite has their email, and then they let you see it too.
Yeah, and it's also good because it's people are looking comedy tonight. There's a lot more intention there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll drag in people who are just oh, well, there's a comedy show over here.
Yeah, I mean to be clear, I'm paying a monthly fee for Eventbrite that isn't. It's like $15. And then I'm but with that, I'm getting 2,000 emails a day.
2,000?
I can email 2,000 people a day. I'm not.
Got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, what else? And then I'm paying for ads because the ads work.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And then what you do is at the free comedy show, we try to collect tips. I try to do a better job of with my merch, remembering to put it out just in case.
In case someone's
yeah,
comedy or worse.
Yeah, I've been giving out stickers.
Like a pretzel.
Free stickers.
Sorry, I love the pretzel joke.
I like it too. Look at this.
Just like a pretzel. Can I put it on?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Is it warm?
It's nice. It's comfortable.
Look at that. Another fan. Let's see. Have you ever been in a car accident?
Just only mild fender benders. Well, actually no.
Whose
Never
fault
mind.
was it?
There was one that was actually pretty bad. There was one where I got rear-ended pretty hard. Not my fault. It was just was driving my car and just. Luckily, no one got hurt. It was just my car got hurt.
Poor car.
No, it was expensive. It was expensive, even though I was not at fault at all. I still had to pretty sure I had to pay at least the deductible. You know, wasn't
Makes
too
sense.
bad though. Yeah, insurance is a joke.
What's that?
Insurance is a joke.
Yeah, it's not a deal, but they're making money off you.
Yeah,
Yep. So do you have your own merch?
I don't, but I wanted to make some.
Do you need help with it?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to reach out to some other people, but haven't had them really act on it yet. So I might be reaching out to others.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you start making your merch?
Well, when I was in college, I just started there used to be in 2000, early 2000s, they first started these T-shirt a day, where they have a website that had one T-shirt.
Oh, really?
And they were usually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you could you can even submit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I submitted a few things here and there, never got anything. But then
Damn.
I liked some of the things enough where I was like, there was another print on demand has actually been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Where I put some stuff up on print on demand, never sold anything, but I also didn't have as much money, even though I'm really poor right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have low expenses too.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of buying those, other people's shirts,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like big brands. I'm not going to ever wear a Nike shirt or anything like that.
Right.
That's just why.
You're just a walking billboard.
You're just a lemming.
Yeah.
I can't ever see liking. I mean, I guess if it was a small thing
Mm-hmm.
that got big,
Mm-hmm.
that would be one thing,
Right.
But,
Right.
it's already big. People know about it.
Why advertise it?
Why? I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Advertise something smaller.
Yeah, that would be. I used to try to do ones that I liked, nerdy stuff or
Mm-hmm. Nerdy stuff's always fun.
creators that I like, but now I'm whittling it down to there's this one creator that this YouTube channel podcasting people that's called Kind of Funny.
Mm-hmm.
There is one comedian on there, but he didn't start off as a comedian.
Right.
He's actually been on the podcast, Nick Scarpino.
Hell yeah.
But so that's pretty much wearing just my merch and their merch, and that's it.
Right.
The goal really is to have everything be my merch,
Mm-hmm.
and then build up a few items here and there that I can sell.
Mm-hmm.
Because the print on demand is it's so hard to get people to go, just go on the website,
Yeah. It's hard to get people to do anything.
Yeah, I mean a couple times it has worked, and it's just freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's this person's had come to a show and came again, and then they bought something, or they said they're going to buy something. Oh, I'll just buy it online, and they actually followed through.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking crazy.
Right.
And then, but anyway, I'm also just trying to it's just so easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
So especially print on demand,
Mm-hmm.
or even start with stickers and do donation. So I'm just going to do more stickers, and I'm trying to get more comedians to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then that helps train the audience to expect it.
Got it. Yeah.
I was trying to get comedians to local San Diego comedians to do shot glasses, and then
I like that.
because there's this company that they end up coming to $1 a shot glass, or and then you do it, you say pay what you want, but it costs me about $1.
Right.
Some people will just give you $1, but other people will give you $5. I've gotten $10 for a shot glass. Then the idea was have, say, a group of 6 comedians that all do it, and then we trade them like I'm gonna have 10, so trade them, and then I can say, here's this is like the San Diego comedian shot glass set,
right,
and they'll pay even more.
Right. I like that. So it's actually really good.
Shot glass, and then let's do it.
It's always like I'm down for that. Actually, I'm super.
Get more people on board. Let's at least have like 6. What do you think a set of shot glasses? 4 would be the minimum.
Probably, honestly, 3 would be the minimum. I like to collect shot glasses, and a lot of times you get in sets of like 3.
Okay, this is good now.
Back for when I used to be a full-blown alcoholic, but I still collect shot glasses. I don't drink anymore, but like now I still like. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I also would recommend just trying to like come up with some kind of something universal, like a logo for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because like my shot glass right now, like it has one of my jokes, the vitamin D, this on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's only black and white, but now it's like kind of awkward trying to get people to get this shot glass when I haven't told the joke. So
yeah.
So that's a recommendation.
That's a universal like logo, like this is Aaron Trahan.
Yeah, probably like trying to push the brand comedy or worse.
Right. Gotcha.
I'm so glad that I thought of it and no one else thought of it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. So, do you know how many different states you've performed comedy in?
Oh, different states? Texas, Connecticut, California. Mostly Texas, Connecticut, and California.
Okay.
I mean, one time in Japan. Technically, one time in Utah.
Huh.
That's its own story. And believe that's it. Yeah. Believe that's it. Yeah.
Cool. So you want goal is to perform at the Comedy Cellar in New York.
Oh yeah.
What about here in California? What would be a good goal?
Oh man.
What would be your?
Of course, the Comedy Store in LA.
Yeah.
Like that's like the same level as like the Comedy Cellar. It's like it's just
Have you ever
West
been
Coast
on the
version.
open mic over there?
Over there? No, I haven't been out there. It's I don't even know how to start getting on the open mic out there. It's just
There's a Sunday show where you every drink you buy gets you they give you a receipt. You put your name in it. You put it in a bucket. It's called Set of the Night.
Okay.
And if you win Set of the Night, you get like a really good spot on the potluck on Monday.
Okay.
You would go in between the open mic and the friends and family.
Okay.
So that's a really good spot.
Okay. Wow. So basically, you have to go there and buy drinks, and then.
I mean, you could technically buy just one every time, but it seems like, I mean, it's hard to know because I bought 10 of them the first time, didn't get on, and then
you were just like
I started doing 3 and 4, and I've gotten up twice.
Right.
With like buying 3 or 4 drinks, but also I
just look
bought
at the
3 or 4 drinks and not gotten on.
Yeah.
I would have to look at my
luck of the draw
the money
for sure.
that I've spent and see. And then, like, after a while, it's also just good for networking.
Right.
Like, interacting with.
And, like, they recognize you, and they're like, hey, you're cool.
Well, even just, like, if you don't get up, you're just talking to other LA comics and people visiting from other places. Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
But I think now I'm just going to be only going there if I'm already in LA and it lines up. I'm not going to just drive there just to do that anymore, because it's just a waste of time and money, really.
Yeah.
Unless you live in LA, then you don't have to drive 130 miles just one way. Or 260 miles, basically.
Or in my case, take the train. I don't have a car here.
Oh,
Yeah, so that'd be. I mean, maybe I'll have a fun reason, excuse.
If you're gonna try to do that, then you might as well just get a hotel.
Yeah.
And then if you get a hotel, you might as well stay for the potluck the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, just plan. If you somehow win set of the night, which even if you had the best set of the night, you would have to be like undeniably funny,
right?
And maybe even established at another place or something. And then like, oh my God, you were so funny. How long have you been? They ask you questions sometimes, and if you just say San Diego and you haven't been doing it that long. I don't know. I'm not saying. It just seems like people, even if you do really good, you have to like have been doing really good multiple times, proving yourself.
Yeah.
To get to win set of the night. But I'm not a judge there. What do I know?
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. So you kind of already said how you feel about social media. It's like it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Probably my Instagram, hahaman_93.
And why did you pick that?
Because I'm the haha man. I produced the ha-has, and I was born in '93.
Well, there you go. Just aging yourself.
Yeah, man.
Right away, no mystery.
31 and full of fun.
Yeah, you got the rhymes down.
Oh yeah.
And what is that, a phone?
Yeah, but I have this huge ass case on it that charges it.
I was like, why is that phone so thick?
Thick as
Look at
fuck.
that thick ass back. Baby got back. That makes more sense.
Yeah, no, that's why it's thick.
So it lasts like 2 days or something?
No, not that long, but it's just like can do like another full charge or something after like it goes down, basically. Yeah, so it's like just
you push a button?
Yeah, push a button after you have to charge the case, but then like you like push a button and then it charges it up. Which is very, very useful when you don't have a car. And here you want to be able to use Google Maps everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
taking the bus everywhere, smelling all the smells of the bus, hearing the sounds.
So you don't have a car because you're poor? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, poor. See, you gotta support the artist.
Yeah, I mean, I have a car back in Texas, but I was moving around everywhere, and I was in Japan for 2 years, and I wasn't able to have a car over there, and you basically can't get an American car over in Japan, and that's not street legal there. And then I wasn't about to buy a car in Japan, and then came here from Japan. Then and right when I got back to the States, like my car like broke down.
Oh no.
So like because I got my parents, they're like using it when I'm away, and it just broke down. So now I have to figure out a new way to get a car, but I'll be coming in some money.
Your parents aren't going to help you fix your car that they broke?
They didn't break it, just time broke it. Like I don't think they broke it.
You got to pay for wear and tear.
Well, yeah, but it's like what the plan at the moment is like they're gonna like sell it and then give me money for it. That's the plan at the moment.
Okay.
I know.
Otherwise, I know they're your parents, but Jesus, it sounds like a scam. They use your car, things wear out, but also things wear out faster when you use it.
Where else was it gonna go when I was in Japan?
All right. You should have sold your car when you were in Japan.
I wanted to use it afterwards, and it went kaput. What a great word, kaput.
Where did I kaput it?
I could kaput it with my parents. Fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you have any people in your life that you think should do comedy?
I'm always trying to like recruit people to do comedy, but it's like they never end up wanting to do it. Right. It's just like I've just become friends with someone and be like, you could learn how to do it. You could get better. It's like, oh, I'm not funny. It's like, that's not all there is to it. You can literally learn how to get better, and you practice like anything else. People just think they're going to be naturally gifted. It's like, bro, like, you know how many people are naturally gifted at like stand-up comedy? So very, very few.
Yeah.
Honestly, like.
And it's funny that the public think that the funniest people are comedians, and no, that's the funniest people sometimes just are okay with just being funny all the time.
Yeah, some.
They're so funny they don't need to get funnier.
Dude, some comedians are, like, a lot of people also say that like comedians are funnier off stage, which a lot of times is not the case at all.
They don't understand.
Yeah.
I've timed it before. Like, it took me 10 minutes to get one laugh out of somebody.
Oof.
You know?
Yeah.
Just talking.
Talking in regular. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm a lot funnier on stage, you know, because it's like planned. I understand it, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can be funny off stage, but it's compared to some people, not the same level, you know. But on stage, I can crush it. Yeah. And sometimes I don't.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. Do you like to go to the movies or?
Absolutely, I do. I love movies. Yeah. Movies are great. In fact, like, I used to have this like really awesome AMC pass where I could see like 6 movies a month. It was like fantastic.
Right.
Or it was actually more than that. It was like, no, it was 3 movies a week for like a month, each month.
Uh-huh. But
then like something happened. I got like identity theft of my card, and every time I try to sign up for it again, it keeps being declined. It's really a bummer because I remember I watched Dune Part 2 like 6 times. I love Dune. Dude's great.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Did you ever read the books?
I'm reading it right now.
Well, what book are you on?
I'm just on the first one. First one's big though.
Yeah.
It's a big one, you know, but it's fun.
My nephew is like legally blind, and he was like a teenager, and Harry Potter was out, and he got into audiobooks, and I would never go back. Audiobooks are the way to do it for me.
Audiobooks are pretty fun. It's very convenient.
So much easier.
Yeah.
And like say I see a name, like I'll just pronounce it like, say there's 4 ways to pronounce it. I'll see that name, in my head I'll pronounce it each of the 4 ways, and that just gets confusing to me. Like names are like my Achilles heel. Like that's why I point at the person to say their name at the beginning of the podcast. Social anxiety, dyslexia, forgetfulness, whatever, I don't know.
It all come together.
It's just so much easier to have someone. And it is annoying though when the author or the person reading it will pronounce a name multiple ways. No.
No.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, like in the audiobooks? Yeah, I can see that.
But I guess if like say the author like catches it and then like, oh yeah, like The Witcher, it was they started off, what was it? They started off saying Dandelion, and then they switched it to Dandelion.
Oh, right.
And it's like okay, why are you doing that?
Just like stick to one, man.
Luckily,
commit to one.
Like, I think it was another the next book. You know what I mean?
Okay,
At least it wasn't in the same book. That would have been
hella confusing.
Crazy. Yeah. Or maybe it's in response to like the Netflix show or something.
Right.
I don't know. It was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But I like long series of books. Dune, even though like the only the first 6 are written by the original author, you heard about what happened. Like this, it didn't get finished with the son.
Yeah.
And
was
Paul J. Anderson.
Brian Herbert, right?
Yeah, Brian Herbert,
yeah.
And I think it's Paul J. Anderson took his notes, and that other author really and also like Frank Herbert knew he was going to die, so he kind of like
set it up.
He kind of like gave him access to. I mean, it's also the son, right? So
Yeah.
They had all the access, and what they did instead of just writing the book 7, they got into all the material. Like, you know what? The best thing to do is write all these prequel books, then finish the series, and it was really good. And then they started like write like these I guess call it like a gap book.
Okay.
To where like they're filling in details of the stuff, and they're so good. And then if you get through all of it, it's like probably the best sci-fi story of all time.
Oh yeah, like it's kind of. I mean, it's the basis for a lot of other like a great sci-fi. Like without Dune, like we wouldn't have a lot of this other stuff as well. So it's like. Definitely Star Wars wouldn't be a thing. You know, arguably Star Trek, you know. You could also make the argument that Dune was inspired by like John Carter of Mars to a little bit. So it's like a lot of things are building up on each other, you know.
It was influenced by Isaac Asimov's writings, especially Foundation.
I believe that. I could buy that.
Have you read that?
I've not. I need to.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Actually, really a cool thing is a lot of Isaac Asimov's books and short stories are all in the same universe.
Oh, cool.
They're
Very
just
nice.
like either space and or time has gone on, you know, like
right.
I think a lot of times it's like time, like they do a little short story or a novel in this time period, and then because it's so epically on a time scale, epic time scale, they can just write the next short story or book like time has gone on. Yeah,
for sure.
so good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, is there any questions you want to ask or?
Nope.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll end the podcast and then do a quick promo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks for watching, listening. This has been Comedy or Worse. Okay, bye.
Bye.